So this morning I got 2 stoves going. A couple of things I haven't used much before on any backpacking trips, but over here I've got my Trangia going in an Emberlit fire ant stove. It's a little titanium wood burning stove. It also has a slot cut in it, so you can put the Trangia stove in there. You can see it kind of fits in those little notches there at the top. And I don't know if you've ever seen the fire ant, but the fire ant's a little wood burning stove. It's 5 pieces of titanium that you put together, little clips in the corners slide and notches slide together, and it's got a bottom in it. And I haven't used this one yet for wood burner. I had another one before this one, aluminum version, and used it. No, stainless. Had a stainless version and used it, and it worked good. And this is the titanium version, so using it for a Trangia stand this morning. The other thing I'm doing over here is I've got this little percolator that I picked up at a thrift store. So I've got it warming up on my Fancy Feast stove, and then you can see there in the background I've got the simmer ring for the Fancy Feast. So once it starts to boil, I'm planning on putting that simmer ring on the Fancy Feast and see if I can't get this coffee to perk. Alright, so I don't know if you can tell, but we have a bit of a perk. And so I've put the simmer ring on the Fancy Feast stove, and we'll see just how long this perks and see if it makes a good cup of coffee here shortly. So maybe my little percolator is going to work out all right. Well, I walked up to the fort. I think this is the French fort, or Fort Jackson, I think is what the actual name. I left my paperwork in the car, a little brochure. But this is Fort Jackson, I think. It's kind of mist and rain, so I don't know if I'm going to do much exploring today because I'm going to get soaking wet. But this will give you an idea. This is the inside of the fort. Pretty cool. They do reenactments up here, or at least once a year, maybe twice. Frontier days, where they have a lot of reenactors come in and set up for the week. So I may walk a little bit more, and if I don't get too wet, and let you see some more parts of the grounds. But there's a couple of cannons. I don't know if you can see way off in the distance between those 2 chimneys. There's a platform with a cannon. That's an old brick oven, or stone oven, I guess. I don't know what. It's kind of a mortar oven that they cooked in the cooking area over there. And then there's more housing along here. I guess that's storage or maybe some housing. And they believe that the commandant of the fort lived in this area when this was an active fort. It's a pretty cool area. They've got it closed off. You can't go upstairs, but that's kind of a loft area up there. Pretty cool. There's a view of the outside of the fort. Looks like they may have redone parts of the wall since the last time I was here. Some of the wood looks a little more fresh. Then there's a blacksmith shop right over here, which actually they have meetings there. There's a local blacksmith club that meets there. I've actually come to a meeting before. Kind of neat to watch them work the iron. So this is the walkway back to the American fort. That was the French fort earlier I showed you. And this is more of an earthen fort. Walls are kind of built up. Earth walls. We'll see when we get a little closer. Definitely not as fancy as the French fort up there. The outside of the American fort. Those walls are probably, well, they're probably 10 foot high, I would say. This is the outside with those wooden posts sharpened. I'm sure they were probably sharpened a little bit more Those walls are a little more than just dirt. They've got, looks like they wove in some wood to strengthen those, and on the inside it looks like there's a layer. We'll go on the inside and look around. It looks like there's a layer of logs on the inside to reinforce the wall. This, of course, is not complete. They were kind of reconstructing it. Nice little cabin in here. Yeah. So they'd reinforce the walls on the inside with some logs to help strengthen it. There's the flagpole. So this is one of the burial mounds from the Mississippian phase. Looks like they've got it dated sometime between 1100 and 1400 is the time frame. They've got them labeled better than the last time I was up here. Looks like they've done a good job of labeling these areas. I remember there was a small sign up here before, but nothing that nice. Here's a view, another view of the Coosa River here. Fog's lifted a little bit, but still pretty overcast. So here's a much better view of the river. You can see how it widens up, and right out that way, straight out that way, there's a little island, and the Coosa, that's the Coosa that you're looking at. But to the left of that island, right out on this point, a couple hundred yards that way, is where the Tallapoosa comes in and goes straight that way, forming the Alabama River. So these two rivers right here make the headwaters of the Alabama River, which flows on down south and into the Gulf there in Mobile. So it was a pretty damp morning still so far. I was trying to let my tarp dry out, but not having a whole lot of luck with that just yet. So I'll have to hang that up at the house. But I was going to show you one more thing before I pack it up. I don't know if you saw my other video with the Costco underquilt that I did. And this is a top quilt I did, one of the Costco blankets. And you'll notice that it's two colors because I took a little bit, because it was a little short for me as it was, so I added 2.5 rows. I think I actually added 3 rows, and I overlapped it here. But this is a top quilt I made. I just sewed a foot box at the bottom, and then I put this draw cord at the top to cinch it up around my shoulders with a snap on each corner. And I've had this down to about 38, and that was a little bit cool for me. So I'd say this is probably comfortably a 40 to maybe a 45 degree quilt for me. 38 was a little chilly. I had to put on my coat in there to stay warm. But this is a Costco top quilt that I did. I one of those Costco blankets in 31 Fort Toulouse. If you like to car camp, This is a good spot. It's not super primitive, but if you're not into primitive, then this is a great spot right here on the river. This is site number 32, and it's got a great view of the Coosa River. Nice and quiet. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna pack things into the car and make my way to the house, and hopefully I'll get another video up before too long. Hope you found this enjoyable, and we'll check back in with you next time. Have a good one.